What's good, everybody? It is your girl, Ticket the Shun of All Things Ruthless, home of the Ruthless Addicts, here to bring you guys the All the Queen's Men Season 3, Episode 16 finale recap entitled Checkmate. Yes, this is the finale of All the Queen's Men. They gave us a total of 18 episodes, and we're going to take a break. They have already filmed Season 4, so you guys just have to keep your notifications set. When season 4 does come, I will absolutely give you guys that recap as well as a few other notifications in regards to All the Queen's Men. But I'm definitely looking forward to its return already, because when I tell you this ending was crazy, it was absolutely crazy. So anyway, you guys, on the last episode of All the Queen's Men, we saw where Champ and Trouble had been snatched up. Now, we don't quite know who it is that, snatched them up, but we do know that they were driving a white van, and based on the word of midnight, the white van had some graffiti on back. Now, Doc proceeds to say that this seems like some after school special type stuff, and I got what he was saying. I thought it was funny. But anyway, you guys, we see where they're trying to decide who's going to go in and let Madam know that Champ and Trouble have been snatched up. So of course, because Midnight is always there when the drama happens, they decide that he's going to be the one, especially since he saw the graffiti on the vehicle. Now, Doc and Babyface walk away. I'm thinking that they're leaving, but we find out later on that that's not the case. So anyway, Midnight goes in and lets Madam know what has happened. That two of her junior dancers, Trouble and Champ, have been snatched up. She asks him to do a little bit of research, who you got connections with, to find out what is going on. So anyway, Midnight walks out, and Doc is still there. Doc, I guess he came back from whatever he was supposed to be doing. He comes back and he's saying, why you tell Madam about me and Detective Davis?" And so, basically, Doc done caught feelings. He has caught feelings for Detective Davis, and Midnight was just calling him out on it. Man, when you're doing a job for Madam, it's just a job. You can't be falling in love with these ladies. So anyway, we see that Babyface has made his way over to Miss Tandy's home, and she is in the living room talking to D.A. Rods. And of course, he sees her there, and he says, "What are you doing here?" And she says, "Oh, is this a gift from Madam?" And Miss Tandy is like, it's not even like that. Furthermore, okay, it's time for you to go. I'll talk to you later. So anyway, she has a conversation with Babyface, and Babyface is like, "Why are you even talking to her? You know she's doing everything that she can to try to, take Madam down. So why are you even rocking with her like that?" And of course, Miss Tandy is like, "I got her in my pocket. Don't worry. It's nothing you have to worry about." And he's like, "Listen, I'm just telling you, you can't rock with her like that." So anyway, Tandy does what she does best for Babyface, and that is hand him a gift. Not any average gift, you guys. She gives him a Rolex, and of course, Babyface loves any kind of gift, any expensive gift at that. So he takes the gift, and he then they move on. The scene moves on to where we see Champ and Trouble, and they are literally in trouble, trying to figure out what they're gonna do. And Trouble is just saying, "Look, if we just stand strong, we should be okay. But you can't tell them where the money is." She's like sticking to her guns about the whole situation. Like, girl, you robbed the wrong people, right? You do understand you robbed the wrong people. So anyway, we see where Tommy is bringing Madam her breakfast, and as always, Madam does not like to eat. But he says, he's telling her, "Madam, you have to eat," and she's like, "Madam, Tommy, I don't have to do anything." She's so hard on Tommy when all he's doing is trying to be careful or take care of her nutritional needs, y'all. So anyway, he says, well, then if you're not going to eat, then I will bring you a juice. So he says that, and he walks away. And then she receives a phone call from Midnight, and Midnight is just stating he doesn't really have a whole lot of information quite yet, but he still has a connection that he has to tap into to figure out what happened to Trouble and Champ. Okay, so then at the apartment of the one and only DOC, we see Detective Davis, and she has come for her one last try, her one last cry, her one last bit of nookie from Doc. And you know, Madam, when Madam says something, it's supposed to stand right, but Doc, he done caught feelings. And not only can you tell that he has caught feelings, because Midnight said that he saw him holding hands with Detective Davis, but he's kissing her in the mouth, and he normally never kisses, according to what Doc says. So Doc has definitely caught feelings, but has Detective Davis caught feelings for Doc? That's a good question. We're going to keep watching so we can see what actually happens. All right, so then we see, and this is a wonderful sight to see, I'm just saying. We see where Fuego walks out of the bathroom, and of course, he receives another message on his computer. This time, this message is damning. Like it's creepy, and it's automatically, we kind of know, and Madam at some point will be made aware that the one and only concierge is definitely on her tail. This message says to let Madam know that the war isn't over, and for the first time in her life, she's going to lose. Oh my God. Fuego was like, I'm not doing your dirty work. But of course, because he has received this message, he has to go and let Madam know. And then his computer starts acting up to where the screen was barely readable. It's like, oh man, now I got to get a new computer. But anyway, you guys, we also finally get to see Trouble and Champ. Now they look as if they had been tortured a little bit. And then in Save the Day, many people have said a lot about Big D. Hey, I even had some things to say about Big D, but listen, Big D, Baby D, Double D, Super D has saved the day for Champ and Trouble. He's there to protect, or actually to save them from being beat down, because we find out that they stole money from the Black Rock Boys. Like, y'all done stole money from the wrong people who are also connected to Madam. However, they're a gang in their own entity. But anyway, we see Champ, and he starts to cry. And he was like, man, just take me, just untie me, please, just untie me. He's like he was really, really scared. He don't want to die right now. At least not right now anyway, y'all. So we see where Imp has made his way over to Dime's place. And of course, she rejects him. He's just telling her, won't you, just accept, I'm just trying to be friends. Won't you accept the flowers as friends, or whatever the case may be. But Dime is not here for it. She doesn't want anything to do with Imp, and it's apparent. Now, are they going to keep going with these shenanigans? I hope not. I'm actually over the whole Imp and Dime saga. Maybe they'll bring Imp a new love interest, someone that's not so, off-putting as Dime is. I understand Dime's feelings. I also understand Imp, but at this point, Imp, just move on, baby. Just move on. So anyway, we see Madam, and of course, Carla, my girl Carla, has busted into the room, and of course, Blue put the blicky on her, but she's telling her, look, I know where your soldiers are. I know where your dancers are. I know you missing two dancers, and I know who has them. They've stolen money from the Black Rock Boys, and the word is out on the street that you missing two dancers. But she tells Madam a couple of thousand is what she has to pay her for their return. Now, Madam was like, well, I was willing to pay you 5G. But if it's just, 2K, let's see what you do. So, of course, Blue does not like Carla. And, of course, Madam definitely does not trust Carla. But she's just trying to do what her father says, and that is work with Carla. So we're going to see how this whole thing unfolds. But then we see back at the crib, Doc and Detective Davis, and they are booed up booed up, just having their final saves and having the one last touch, the one last moment between the two of each other. And he's saying, we really, or she's saying, you really don't have to do everything that Madam says. And of course, Doc is loyal. He's not gonna say anything against Madam, but he's not going to say anything to incriminate himself as well. So he's like, it's time to go. I have something to do. So anyway, we see where Fuego has made his way over to Madam's office and lets her know that he received another one of those cryptic messages. And she comes to the conclusion that it's definitely Concierge who is tapping his computers, and that he is the one sending all of the messages. And of course, she thanks him, but then she tells him, I need you to go into the computer and I need you to scrub everything this is from the police files. I need you to scrub everything, the correspondence between Casanova as well as Detective Davis. Now, why does she want that information scrubbed? If she wants to get Detective Davis caught up in some mess, why would she scrub everything that she has? Somebody answer that. If you know why or what sense that would make, please drop it in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. So anyway, we see Trouble, Big D, as well as Champ, and they walk into the club limping, looking all beat up, and Big D says, I brought something for Madam. And so she was like, dang, like, actually, she was actually impressed at the fact that Big D came in with Trouble and Champ. So she goes, she says, you could just go ahead and walk on in and let Madam know what's up. So he goes in and tells Madam, I brought your dancers back. They were stealing money they stole from the Black Rock Boys. I went in. I didn't have to unalive anyone. I snuck in. I got a special set of skills that were taught to me by my father. He taught me how to shoot. He taught me how to, move around easily. And I used that in the drug game. But because of what happened while I was in the drug game, I chose to get out of it. And the only reason that I was a informant is because I was getting paid and it never hurt anyone. So Madam, she took that into consideration and she was like, you know what? Since you did me a favor, I'm going to do you a favor. And she reintroduces him to the main attraction. Yes, Big D is back on the main attraction. But of course, before she introduces him back on the main attraction, she goes and does roll call. And of course, she tells Fuego that she could tell that he's stopped off of he hasn't been eating the lasagna. She can tell that, and she said that baby boy, meaning Amp, is looking good. I even said that on the last virtual club eating, that Amp's abs was looking pretty good. So Madam noticed it, and so they bring in the one and only Big D. Now, of course, Amp, he's big mad about that. He doesn't want Big D anywhere near him, but it is what it is. They got to do what Madam tells them to do, and he's living it up. He's enjoying it. He's super excited. So we see that Babyface lets Madam know that D.A. Dodds has made her way over to Tandy's house. Now, she said, we all know that D.A. Rods is not supposed to be fooling with Tandy, and Tandy not supposed to be fooling with her. But anyway, Babyface gives Madam this info, and later on, Madam is going to go and see Tandy. Then she tells Babyface to stop putting that menthol peppermint stuff on his knees. She says to wipe that off because it stinks, and he's sniffing around to see if he can smell it. But I guess he feels like if I can't smell it, then nobody else can. So anyway, outside we see Detective Davis, who is holding on to a black shirt that belongs to Doc. But you guys, I knew this heifer was not all in with Madam and her shenanigans. I knew it. Yeah, I had a moment of doubt, but I knew that she was not all in. She is trying to set up not only Madam, but she's going to set up Doc along with it, because that t-shirt that she's sniffing on has the DNA of Teresa. Oh my gosh, this is going to be absolutely crazy. So anyway, in the office of Madam, of course, Carla comes back because she's trying to collect her $2,000. But Madam's like, you didn't bring them back. Somebody else brought them back. So you can be out. Like, you're not getting $2,000. You can't collect $2,000 and go directly to Go. Get out my office. So anyway, on the dance floor, we see what the fellas are dancing to, Kodak Black. And these fools, y'all, they end up getting into a fight. Big D bumps into Imp, and it was definitely a mistake. But he bumps into Imp, and they get into a physical altercation on the dance floor. Like, how disappointing was that? Because the ladies in the audience came to see the fellas dance, especially after that big old introduction that Dime gave. Letting everybody know we got a fifth member of the Men of Eden. So the Fantastic Five were not so fantastic. They got into a whole fight. So anyway, we see Madam, and she makes her way over to Tandy. Lets Tandy know, if you fooling around, if you messing with DA or DA Rods, I got this information on you. So now we finally come to the conclusion as to what it was that Madam saw. Madam saw on her phone the information that Fuego sent to her. She saw where Tandy placed a pillow over her husband's head and suffocated him. So now we know Madam definitely has something on Tandy, and she is let her know, I will take you down for trying, especially for trying to put this all on Ray Sean, this poor little kid Ray Sean that you and your husband abused sexually. So Madam ain't playing around with Tandy, and Tandy better wake up, or she's gonna end up having herself locked up. And she also, Madam tells her that she needs to unalive. She needs to unalive DA Rods. Like, she says, so since you're so good with unaliving people, you need to unalive DA Rods. Y'all, I'm here for it. I gotta see what's gonna go down. But y'all, I need to go back just a little bit. When Tandy, or when Carla made her way to Madam's office, she said that one of the two who stole money from the Black Rock Boys, somebody has to be unalived. Who do you guys think Madam is going to choose? Is it going to be Trouble, or is it going to be Champ? Because somebody's got to go. And Madam, it's a street code. You steal from somebody. It's not just a hand, it's a life that may be taken. And for the first time in ever, I hear Blue take up for Trouble. She's like, Madam, you can't take out Trouble. Like, why? That she's saying that it should be obvious, but why? Why not take out Trouble? Who do you guys think Madam is going to take out, y'all? She has to choose between Blue. I'm sorry, y'all. She has to choose between Trouble and Champ. And I hate it for the both of them. But tell me, who do you guys think Madam is going to take out? So anyway, you guys, last but not least, we finally see Madam, and she is driving. She's, feeling kind of good. She just left Tandy's home, and she receives a message, or she receives what she thought was a phone call. But when she looks at the phone call, she looks at the image on the phone. Y'all, Daddy DeVille can't never get away. And this time, it's Daddy DeVille for real. Like, ain't no imitation Daddy DeVille, no pretend to be Daddy DeVille. It's really Daddy DeVille. And that was the end of the episode. They left us on a crazy cliffhanger. Once again, Daddy DeVille is in trouble. Will Concierge go ahead and take the life of Daddy DeVille? Because, this is all Concierge, y'all. Y'all know that's him, right? So anyway, y'all, that was about it. Thank you all so much for tapping into All the Queens Men Recap, my All the Queens Men Recap. Make sure you guys tune in on Sunday for Virtual Club Eating, where Club Eating is absolutely a vibe, hosted by myself and my girl EJ, the TV junkie, and our friends. And I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in the chat, okay? All right, y'all, that's about it. Thank you so much, and you already know, stay ruthless.